Hello viewers of TVC, this is the Audi RS6 Avant, and in my humble opinion it is one of the best looking performance estate/station wagon cars that you can buy today. Let's check it out. So the Audi RS6 Avant, this is a really cool looking car. I mean, it has much more presence than even more of other Audi performance cars, like, well, not really an R8, but maybe an RS5, an RS4. Like, this is really a stunner. Like, it really is a stunner because it's so wide, it's so archy. Like, compared to its like A6 counterpart, like, this is a much more aggressive looking car. I mean, even with the arches, like, looking right here, just look at how wide those arches are. I mean, they stand maybe like 2 millimeters from the bodywork. So yeah, it's really a muscular car. And even looking here, you got your usual Audi Matrix LED headlights, which are so cool, which they do the little dance, and they shine really bright far down the road, even with the blue accent inside there. So you can really tell that this is really a intelligent high beam headlight. Surprisingly, it doesn't have any fog lights, because generally with LEDs they shine so brightly that you don't really need fog lights anymore in cars because of the pigment that they contrast. So looking here, this is a really big wheel. I mean, these are probably 22 inches. This is a 22-inch wheel. I mean, it even says it there, 285 R30 ZR22, 20-inch alloy wheels and 30 millimeter tires. These are performance tires. Even looking inside, that's a big Audi brake. That's probably like 17 inches in diameter. Like, it needs all the stopping power in going so fast. And so with the RS6, it rivals the Mercedes-Benz E63S station wagon, which sadly is not sold in South Africa. And I know a lot of enthusiasts are shouting at Mercedes about why they have not brought that type of car here, and yet Audi have. So Audi have answered to the people who wanted it, so here it is. But in my humble opinion, this looks so much better than the E63 wagon. The E63 honestly looks like just an E-Class with just an extended rear. But with this, they've really cut it out, they really edged it out, they've really taken the time to maneuver the lines and increase the width of the arches and the wheels. And it really is a cool looking car. I mean, driving on the road like this has a lot of presence, like even more presence than most BMWs. So on the inside of this car, it really is a good looking car. It's like almost every other typical new Audi these days. I mean, I've showed you guys a lot of the new Audis these days, so it's not really a surprise when you see 2 new screens right there. But the function that I really miss the most in the older RS6 is the function of where you can actually allow the infotainment system to come and flip up and read you whatever you need to have. So like, there used to be a button, there used to be many buttons here, but now it's mainly just touch screens. But there used to be a button right around here. Then when you press it, the entire instrument cluster, well, not instrument cluster, but infotainment system rises up and reads you the information that you need to have. And like, that was a really cool feature. It's like something that comes out of James Bond. And I really do miss that system, but as times change, we also have to change as well. So looking in here, you got carbon fiber up here. Surprisingly, you got carbon fiber up here, and then you got your Quattro badge, which obviously we should all expect. It's an Audi. It's all Quattro, all-wheel drive. And we got surprisingly, it's hard plastic. Yeah, that's hard plastic. And looking here, you got all your buttons for that's your volume knob. I don't really have the key on me right now, but as you can see, it's a very clean looking infotainment system that honestly I would be afraid to touch all the time, because then it messes with how clean it looks. So if we can just wake it up like a little bit, but then it'll give us the warning chime. Yeah, it gives the warning chime that it needs the key. So there's your MMI system. Well, this is your MMI system, but that's your 3D gauge cluster, which honestly, it still looks good till today. I mean, I've been in many new cars, but this still looks new even till today. So looking here, you have your This is for your parking sensors, and also for your camera. So like if you press it, then it allows the camera to come on, but then it also turns off the parking sensors if you want. And looking onto your top dash, this is it's not really plastic, but I wouldn't really also call it leather, but the stitching is so high quality. Like it doesn't miss a line at all. I mean, you feel it, and it's stitched all the way straight. I mean, there's no outlier at all. I mean, usually in most older cars you can see an outlier in the stitching, but with this one you can be assured that it'll be like this for a very, very long time. So here is your Audi steering wheel, as in most other performance Audis. So then you got your RS badge right there, and it's a flat bottom steering wheel so that you can hold on it like when you're going around the racetrack. And at the back you have your paddle shifters for your 8-speed automatic dual clutch transmission. Then this is for your gauge cluster mainly, and then this right here is for the infotainment system. So like you got your speakway, so like you can press the button and then you can tell the car what it needs to do. You got your on call as well. And then this is for getting in the car into RS mode. So if you press that, and then the whole car stiffens up and it begins to ready itself for being driven hard. So yeah, that I would only recommend maybe using on the track, or if there's an open road, I would also kind of recommend that, but also be careful as well. So looking at the back, this is your intelligent automatic cruise control, which allows you to keep a distance from the car in front, and then it also allows the car to actually steer itself. So yeah, we're living in a brave new world, people. Then looking here, this is for your lights mainly, because generally the back is mainly taken up by the windshield washers. As you can see, there's mainly for the windshield wipers and washers. So then they had to move the lights over here. Then looking here, it's also got some carbon fiber and then some nice squidgy material. I don't even really know what it is, but it's a nice squidgy material. And then looking there's your mirror, which is right on the door. And looking here is for your reset buttons. So like if you want to get in, then you can press, you can set first, and you can say how your driving position is. If you want the steering wheel to be down, and then you want your seat to be forward, so then you got 2 memory seats. Then right here is for mainly all your window controls and your mirror controls. So like there you can just toggle, and then you can just switch how you want the mirrors to either be up or down. So in the back seat of the RS6 Avant, so honestly this is a very spacious cabin, although the seats really do like are positioned forward, although they're not like reclined in like maybe the A8s that I was in a year ago actually. But it's honestly not a bad place to sit. I mean, I'm 5'8", 5'7", and I have plenty of headroom, and that knee room I also have, although I think if the passenger would move even further, I don't think it would be a very nice place to sit for a very long time. But other than that, it's a really comfortable place. I mean, you still got all the materials in the front, which is moved to the back, which is really nice. I mean, if you pay this much for a car, you expect the materials to at least be moved to the back as well, so that the rear occupants can also enjoy. So here you still got your carbon fiber, and then you still got your leather door handle, and then you still got your kind of plastic door sill. But other than that, it's still not really much of thrills in here. It's not really a luxury car in that sense, not the A8. I mean, if you really wanted a full-blown luxury car, you either wouldn't gotten the A8 or the 7 Series or the S-Class, but like this is a mid-level car that rivals against the M5, which sadly does not have the estate or station wagon form. They only sold that for a very short while with the E61 M5, which actually came in a manual, and imagine that, a manual V10 estate car. I mean, that's really, really cool. But other than that, I mean, if I pull this down, which is really hard, it's not a really big armrest. You know, there's only room for 2 people. I mean, if you drive with another one here, I mean, they will complain. But other than that, I mean, you got your cup holders, and then you still got all of this in here. And it's really, really cool. But it's not really a spacious back seat, if I can say, which is surprising for a car this big, and it's aimed to being a a practical family car, but you still got your climate controls right there. It's in almost like every other typical Audi, because this is a more performance-oriented car, so you don't really expect much of room in here. I mean, the back seats, I mean, I really do feel it on my back right now, and it's really thick, and it feels like it hugs me in place. It doesn't really make me feel relaxed as much, but it's good enough in here. So let's check out the rear. Okay, in the rear compartment, it is really a large space due to its hatchback style form, so you can really fit a lot of things in there. I mean, you can get enormous amounts of things. You can get groceries, you can get bags, you can get all of that in there, and can go on a long road trip as well. So looking under here, you don't really have a spare wheels. Surprisingly, it's a performance car. You need less weight to increase the performance that you need. So looking here, you got an enormous amount. I mean, I could even lie down here, and if I cross my legs, I mean, I could really be shut in here and be held captive, but we're not going to do that. Then you have your back seat. But well, not really bolted, but levers here that allows you to push them out. So if I do that, they immediately go down. But yeah, they immediately go down. And then you have an enormous amount of rear seat, well, not really rear seat, but boot space. So let's actually go check out the engine bay now. So looking here, you have a 4-liter twin turbo V8 which produces around 35 horsepower or 650 horsepower and around almost 800 newton meters of torque, which for a car that is this big and this massive is incredible, and a 0 to 60 time in around 3.3 seconds, which is also really cool. And I mean, it's almost as fast as some older Ferraris from like the 2000s or Lamborghinis. Well, in general, some supercars that were before like the 2010 period. So this is a very big engine. I mean, considering the size of this car, this is a very wide, big car. So you need all the power that you need to get it up the road or into the streets. So yeah, so that has been the Audi RS6 Avant. It is a really cool special car. I mean, this is a very rare car in South Africa's terms, because not many people buy estate cars. I mean, when is the last time you actually saw any estate car driving around in your area? I mean, most of the times estate cars are bought by families and by the elderly, but this is a really cool take on a performance estate car. So I just want to thank Audi Sandton again for allowing me to come back and give another shout out to one of their cars. I mean, they've provided us with all of this, and it's always good coming back. So thank you for watching TVEC. Like, comment, subscribe. See you next time.